Merry Christmas, everyone. This is SoundwaveProductions, and we are going to be taking a look at the Lego Star Wars Set 75192 UCS Millennium Falcon 2017 edition. So as always, let's take a quick look at the box. So right up front here, we have a nice big image of the Millennium Falcon flying through the skies of Bespin. Up top, Lego Star Wars Ultimate Collector Series. On the bottom, Lego Star Wars Ultimate Collector Series. On the side of the box, we have the dimensions of the Millennium Falcon, as well as all the minifigures, which we will be taking a look at in just a moment. On this side of the box, we have some information about the Millennium Falcon, and on the back of the box, there's all of the product shots. It does this, that, and all that things and stuff, and that is basically it for the box. Now, before we dive into the minifigure segment of this video, we are going to be taking a look at the massive instruction book that you get with this behemoth. This thing is huge. You get, like, there's a total of, like, there's almost 500 pages on this thing. And they had to bind it, like, and for comparison, let me get this guy out here. For comparison, this is how thick it is compared to the Death Star's instruction manual. This thing is a beast. Now, let's move on to the minifigures. The first minifigure we are going to be taking a look at is BB-8. It's basically the same BB-8 that has come in every other Lego Star Wars sequel trilogy set. There's not really a whole lot to talk about with BB-8. It's just the standard BB-8 body piece with the droid head on top. It does have some nice printing though. Focus. There we go. It's a nice, unique printing on all four sides. And let's just move on to the next minifigure. Next up in the set is Old Man Han. And at the time of this set's release, he was exclusive to this set, but then he came out in another set, another Force Awakens set. I can't really remember what it is off the top of my head. I'm sure someone will tell me in the comments. But he does have great, like, torso printing, great back printing, and some nice leg printing as well. And he does have an alternate face on the back as well. And I really like that this Falcon comes with two sets of minifigures, like for the Empire Strikes Back and the Force Awakens. So, next minifig. We have Chewbacca, basically the same Chewbacca that we have gotten in previous years. No difference whatsoever, down to the blank torso underneath the Wookiee body piece. And he still comes with that stud shooting crossbow piece. Yeah. Which is probably one of my favorite Lego weapons, is the stud shooting bowcaster that it comes with. Yeah. And it's the same leg printing as well. Moving on. Up next, we have Finn in his jacket that he took from the TIE Fighter Red Hidge from the Force Awakens, and no, like, stitches on the back printing because this was before Kylo Ren messed him up, and no printing for, like, the stitches on his shoulder too, and no leg printing. But he does have an alternate facial expression as well. Let's move on. Up next we have Rey Palpatine. She's got some in her Force Awakens scavenger outfit
with loads of nice printing on the front as well as on the back. And it is the same ray, like, facial expressions that we get on both sides. Nothing really changes there. But he does come with this really cool silver blaster piece, which is supposed to be like the blaster that Han gave her in The Force Awakens. Up next is C-3PO, a figure which I think could have used some more printing, like on his arms, and like, so kind of what we saw in the UCS Luke's Landspeeder that came out about a year ago. Yeah, not really a whole lot to talk about with this figure. He's basically the same that we've gotten in years past, so moving on. We have the younger Han Solo, and to this day, you can only get, to this day, he is still exclusive to this Millennium Falcon set. The torso and leg printing is not really that exclusive, but what is exclusive is that face print right there. Because if we spin him around to the back, he comes with some printing to show like his little oxygen mask that he wears when he's exploring the giant space slug. Up next is Leia Organa herself. And like Han, she is also exclusive to this Millennium Falcon for one simple reason. She has the same face print to show that she has like her oxygen mask on her. And I love like how Lego like has basically, I love the printing that Lego has given for all these figures, except for C-3PO. He could have used more printing. Now let's take a look at our last minifigures. Up next is the Porgs. You get two of them in the set. And back when this set came out, this was the only set you could get Porgs in, but that has since changed. And it's a very simple build using these quarter round tile pieces, this 1x1 Shiso pieces, and this 1x1 tooth tile, situated on a 4-way headlight brick with a orange 1x1 stud underneath, and the droid, and it reuses BB-8's head with Porg printing on it. Alright, last minifigure. Alright, so this last one I couldn't get on the stand, so we're just gonna go handheld here to take a look at the Minok. And back then, this was the only set you could get a Minok in, but then he came out in an advent calendar set later on. But this is one of my favorite like builds in this entire set, is this Minok here. It is a very clever build. You can, so he's got like this vine piece for the tail. It uses some Batman pieces for the wings, a little suction cup piece, and for comparison, see, I have him inside the Death Star. And for comparison, here he is with the Dianoga that came in the Death Star 2016 edition. And both are really, really cool builds for these creatures. Alright, now let's move on to the main build. So here is the UCS Millennium Falcon in all of its glory. So let us zoom in so we can take a look at the details. Okay, so we can't zoom in. So we're just gonna go handheld to look at all of these nice greebling details here. You can see lots of crazy detailing. And we got these like open like bits in the paneling where it's like battle damage. And the nice usage of great pieces instead of those weird satellite dish pieces on the original UCS Millennium Falcon. And like other UCS sets before it, comes with a display plaque. So the manufacturer is Carillion Engineering, Millennium Falcon, Carillion YT 1300 series modified by Han Solo. Length is 34.75 meters. Engines, Gyrodyne SRB42 sublight drives. Maximum speed, 1,050 kilometers an hour in atmosphere. Hyperdrive systems, Class 0.5 ISUSIM SSP05 hyperdrive. And weapons, 2 CEG AG-2G quad laser cannons, 1 Blastech AX1-108 ground blaster cannon, 2 Arakid ST2 concussion missile tube, and capacity, 2 pilots, 6 passengers, and 100 metric tons of cargo. So that's basically it for the display plaque here. And now, as far as features go, we do have a lot to show off. So, moving down to the bottom of the ship. Come on, work with me. So, moving down to the bottom of the ship, there is a boarding ramp which drops down. And if we pull on this little if we pull back on this little panel right here, a little turret pops out. Yeah, a little turret pops out, and you can just rotate it every which way, and you can just put it back in and close that up. And the cockpit also comes off, and unlike Millennium Falcons in years past, this cockpit can seat 4 figs instead of 2 figs. But unfortunately, if you try to place Chewbacca in the front seat, as I have learned, whoever you have sitting behind Chewbacca will not fit in properly. So I'm just going to go ahead and close that up. Now, the reason this comes with 2 sets of minifigs is you can actually change what version of the Millennium Falcon you want on display. So you just take off this radar dish piece, and then you switch it out with this new one, which you also build like very late in the building process. So what you do is you just take that and you just plop it on right there, and then you take these 2 assemblies right here. You build 2 of these in the set, and those will just attach right onto the front of the mandibles here. There we go. And now I'm going to show you. So yeah, and then there we go. That is the Force Awakens Falcon right there. So you got those 2 pieces on the mandibles, and you have the radar dish. Now what we are going to do is we are going to open this thing up, but before we do that, I'm going to show you probably my favorite building technique in this entire set. You get you get 6 of these like bendy tube pieces, and you just like attach them to the back here, and then you get these so these are like repurposed pirate ship ladder pieces, and you just put them over the top, and you get the engine effect, which is really, really cool. So now let's open this thing up. So you can take the top off, and you got a gunner's seat, which you can take a minifigure. I'm going to use Leia as an example because I don't really feel like getting the others out because they have weapons on them, and I just don't really feel like taking those off on camera. So yeah, so you can seat Leia in there, put the top back on. There you go, and you can see her through the window. But that's not the only thing on this set. It's not the only part of the set that can open up. You do get 2 detailed interior segments here, and so the first thing we're going to be taking a look at is the engine room. So you get 2 airlocks, which don't lead anywhere, unfortunately, and there is a smuggler's compartment, which can't really hide any characters in, which is kind of disappointing. And you get the little romantic corner where Han and Leia kiss for the first time in Empire. Yeah. But other than the features and stuff like the opening airlocks, the smuggler's compartment, you get lots of nice greebling details. and a ladder which doesn't lead anywhere, but it's supposed to lead to the gunner's seat, if I'm correct. So close that up. There we go. And now let us take a look at the other area that can open up. So what you do is you take the radar dish off, take this piece off, which I like how you can just like grab onto those two pieces there, and then you just get a hold of this, and then this will just come off too. And you get the Dejaric room with the training helmet that Luke uses in A New Hope, even though you don't get it would have been nice to get like some A New Hope minifigures in this set too, but well, beggars can't be choosers, right? And you get and you get these the bench there that Chewbacca, R2, and 3PO played Dejaric on, and you get a seat with some consoles there and some tubes. All of these panels are held in the exact same way, but these two sections are the only ones where you can actually remove, where the panels are supposed to come off. So there you go. So there you go. Now before we get into size comparisons, I want to talk about this build right here. You build 3 of these in the set, and it's kind of similar to the technique that was used in the detention block on the Death Star to get a sense of depth as if these are actual hallways that you can put minifigures in, and this is pretty cool. You get 3 large stickers, and you just put them on this panel piece, and then you build this around it, which that is pretty cool. Yeah, and 2 of them are in this back compartment here, and then you get 1 in the Dejaric room. So now let's move on to size comparisons, and then I will give you my final thoughts on the set. Alright, now for some size comparisons with the UCS Falcon. So, for one of my next reviews, here it is with the Coruscant Guard gunship, which as of the time of this video, I built last night. As of the time this is being filmed, I should say. Not really a Lego set, but I want to compare it to the Falcon nonetheless. Here it is with the multi-troop transport from Hasbro. A review that I still need to get out. Here it is with the Marvel direct-to-consumer Daily Bugle. How does it scale with the AT-AT? Here's how it scales with the AT-AT. So you can see how those two look together. Now I'm gonna cut the video here so I can kind of a mess right now. You can see the comparisons in just a moment. Now we have time for only one more comparison before something goes wrong and I smash everything in this entire room. So let's compare this Falcon to the Death Star. Yeah, hopefully my camera works with me and I don't have to smash everything in this entire room. But there's the Falcon compared to the Death Star. So, that was my review on the UCS Millennium Falcon, and I will see you in the next video.